So, hello everyone. Let's start today's session, which is having the story of Shiva and Sati. And first, we will see the story, and then we will see the understanding knowledge which is hidden behind it. So, there is a profound understanding of each and every part. And if we are okay, so I hope you all can see the screen. So, first, we'll visualize the entire story in front of us. It is clipped together by different episodes. I'll be narrating it for you and what is happening in each part. And then we'll discuss that what is the knowledge which is hidden behind it. So, first, it starts from the time when the churning of ocean is over. ठीक है, जो महासागर का मंथन हुआ था जिससे अलग अलग निधियां आई, अब वो समय पूर्ण हुआ। और अब क्या हुआ कि उस सागर से जो जो निधियां निकली उसकी वजह से उस इतना विशाल मंथन के कारण तीनों लोगों में एक इम्बैलेंस क्रिएट हो गया। जब भी मंथन होता है तो स्टेबिलिटी हिलती है, समुद्र पूरा हिल रहा है, उसके हिलने की वजह से एक अनस्टेबल एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट होता है। और उस अनस्टेबल एनवायरनमेंट को दूर करने के लिए ब्रह्मदेव ने प्रयागराज, सॉरी नॉट प्रयागराज, पुष्कर के अंदर एक यज्ञ करवाया था। जो पुष्कर तीर्थ है, ब्रह्मदेव का अपना मंदिर है जो कि राजस्थान के अंदर ही है। और पुष्कर के अंदर वो यज्ञ करवाया गया जिसके अंदर त्रिदेवों को, दक्ष प्रजापति को, सबको बुलाया गया कि आप आओ और वर्ल्ड का जो ऑर्डर बिगड़ चुका है उसके डिस्टरबेंसेस को ठीक करने के लिए आशीर्वाद दीजिए। तो पहला जो सीन है इसके अंदर वो वहीं से शुरू होता है। तो उस समय जब दक्ष प्रजापति इस यज्ञ के अंदर भाग लेने आते हैं, तब वो देखते हैं कि सभी लोग जो है उनके आत्मसम्मान, उनके सम्मान में खड़े हो चुके हैं। Everyone here has standed to receive and honor the Daksha Prajapati, but Shiva is still sitting. Shiva didn't stood when Daksha came, and this is what made him very furious, that I am the Prajapati, the ruler of the entire Triloka. Why everyone has standed, even Tridevas, Brahmadev, Vishnu, both have stood for my honor. Why Shiva is standing still there, or sitting still there? And then everyone tried to argue and to make him understand this that you are not understanding who is Shiva. But Daksha kept on dishonoring Shiva, and Shiva kept smiling. And even to this dishonor of Shiva, Bhrigu Rishi also joined, and he joined the Daksha and also dishonored Shiva, that Shiva must stand in front of Daksha to honor the Daksha. But Shiva didn't stood because Shiva is beyond the honor and dishonor, both the things. And everyone tried to make Daksha understand that Shiva will never stand for simple Prajapati. And that's how Daksha then, what did he did? Daksha told that now I will dishonor Shiva by organizing a biggest yajna like this. Since Shiva didn't honored my yajna, I'll do Brahmadev's yajna. I will conduct a huge yajna, even bigger than this, and I will not call Shiva in that yajna. And this is what Daksha did. So he organized the biggest yajna in which he didn't call Shiva. He called everyone, all the devatas, all the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Nakshatras, even Chandradev. Everyone went there, but Shiva was not invited. And because Sati, who is consort of Shiva, Sati is the daughter of Daksha Prajapati itself, was not invited in this yajna, and this made Sati very furious. Why my father didn't invited his own son-in-law, and that to Shiva, who is his son-in-law, not a simple person. So she was very furious because of this disrespect and dishonor of his husband. And she told Shiva that I will go and I will ask for the reason, I will fight my father for not calling you in this Mahayagya. So Shiva makes Sati understand that there is no need to go there. If he doesn't realizes the truth, there is no point. But Sati hello. Oh, sorry. I think, got disconnected in between. Let's start again. So, for everyone who joined late, let me start with the initial part that there was a huge yagya which was organized in in Pushkar, which was organized to create harmony and balance again after the churning of ocean which took place. And in that yagya, everyone gathered. Shiva also came, and everyone was honoring Prajapati Daksh when he came. Prajapati means one who guards the entire Triloka, or one who rules the entire Triloka. So everyone came and everyone honored Daksha, but Shiva didn't honor. Shiva kept sitting, and Daksha was very furious because of that. And Daksha kept on dishonoring and disrespecting Shiva for not standing for him. And and then he told him that he will organize one more yagya, and that will be more bigger than this yagya, and he will never call Shiva in that yagya. And he even tells that now Shiva will be discarded from being the deity which will be worshipped in the Vedic yagyas. Shiva is rejected from Vedas. This was the height of ignorance which one can show. Just because Shiva didn't stood, Daksha just rejected Shiva as the deity for Vedas. Because of that, when he organized another yagya, so Sati asked that why her father didn't call Shiva in that yagya. She was very furious about that, and she requested that she should leave the Kailash and go to her father, and she will argue and ask that why he didn't call Shiva. Shiva explained Sati and tried to make her calm that there is no need to go there, but Sati didn't stop. Sati kept on arguing, and Shiva just smiled and let her go there. Finally, what can one do if someone has decided that he will not, uh, decide in any kind of agreement? So now Sati goes to her father's yagya, and she started arguing with her father that why he didn't call Shiva. She gave all kind of arguments, but in the end, Daksha was so much, you can say, furious or having the feeling of revenge and ego that I am bigger than Shiva. And Sati, when she couldn't withstand this dishonor of Shiva, Sati burned herself with the Yoga Agni, and she just burned every part of her body in the fire with her own Yajna Agni. So now what happened when Sati got burned? This made everyone furious. And Shiva, when he saw all this happening, he was also not in a good mood, and he decided that now Daksha needs to learn a lesson. And Shiva throws one part of his hair on the ground, from which a, a you can say furious form of Rudra appeared, which is named Veerabhadra. And Veerabhadra appeared in front of Shiva, and Shiva ordered Veerabhadra that now you go and you eliminate the ego of the Daksha. Daksha is having too much ego that now he is in a total destruction. So you go and cut that head of Daksha and make everyone free of this ego of Daksha. And this is what Veerbhadra did. So Veerbhadra went there and Veerbhadra just held the Daksha and he just removed that head with his own hands. So he held the Daksha with his hands, and because Daksha was having a boon that he will never be killed by any kind of weapon, so he manually, with his own hands, removed that entire head and made Daksha headless. And this is the main story of Shiva and Sati, and the main Daksha Yajna which got disturbed by the Veerbhadra. So now let's come to the understanding behind this story, that what is the main highlights behind it? Is it just a simple story like a historical event which took place some years ago and that's it, it has ended? Or does it holds any kind of spiritual significance in our life? How will you understand all this? So this is a point where we need Jyotisha to understand that what is the secret which is hidden behind the Puranas. Jyotish was never designed for predictions initially. It was just designed to connect to deities and to understand the knowledge and secret which is there in Puranas and Vedas. So it was a decoding branch, and today we will see that how this decoding is done in Jyotisha, and it how it gives the spiritual significance of Shiva Mahapurana itself. So let's come to the part of understanding of this story. So this is a chart, blank chart, which is there in front of you, and it has some houses. The first house, second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. We have 12 houses. So it is like the entire sky, which is dissected in 12 equal parts, which is like 12 spokes of time, which keeps moving the time. And in this, what is happening? All the transits, all the movements are happening, and we experience different things, and each box in this, uh, you can say, figure represents different things in our life. So this is the first house, which represents our mind, our intellect, and the you can say that dhriti which we have. So there is no translation for dhriti. Dhriti means that thing which holds you even after your intellect is totally against that particular thing. For example, a person who is addicted to wine, even after knowing everything, he cannot resist himself from drinking. This is because of the dhriti which has become tamasic. So although we say that it is the dependence of or abuse of a substance, but actually it is the dhriti which has accepted the alcohol as the you can say summum bonum of the body, and now one cannot live without that. Similarly, you will encounter some people whom you can try every inch to deviate them from their path, but still they remain unshaken. Okay, it's like someone who is vegetarian, he is surrounded by non-vegetarians, they are like giving him all sort of things, applying all kind of tricks, but there is something which is holding him back, that no, I should not go there. This is dhriti, and it is subtler than the intellect. And this dhriti, or shakti, which is seen from lagna itself, that what is the main dharma which you are holding, what is your main driving force, what are your principles which you are holding. And this also represents your body. Everything which we have discussed lies in our head, and that's why the lagna represents head. Now the sixth house, the number 6 which you are seeing, is actually the house of enemies, disease, enemies, everything which destroys the first house. So the sixth house will destroy the first house, will try to destroy the first house. And who will save you is ninth from it. And this ninth house which is there will try to protect the first house. So first house is having a constant struggle between the ninth and the sixth. That will should you listen to ninth which is protecting you, or should you listen to sixth or fight from sixth which is actually a destroyer? And this is what is seen from this story. So now we are going to enter into a new dimension where we derive each and every word to find out that this particular word is linked with which house. And this method is called Katapayadi method in Sanskrit. And with this method, we can actually derive each and every word, and we can say that this word is linked with this house. So when we derive the main characters of this story which are mentioned here, so the Shiva, which is the ultimate protector of the entire world, or one who is sustaining the entire world, is having the energy of ninth house. So Shiva in anyone's horoscope is the ninth house. Then Sati. Sati means the consort of Shiva. And Sati, if we derive this Katapayadi method, it is linked with the first house, the Lagna. Daksha Prajapati, if you do this derivation, it gets sixth house as the main significator. And Veerbhadra, who ultimately destroys the Daksha Prajapati, is seen from 12th house. So we have four main houses of which this whole interaction is going on. It is the ninth house, first house, sixth house, and the 12th house. And it is not my own understanding which I have tried to superimpose. We have directly derived the energy of each word from the decoding method of Sanskrit. And now we are going to understand that how this story is happening in our life every day. So Shiva is the ninth house which is protecting the Lagna, which is Shakti. That's why Adi Shankaracharya said, Atma Tvam Girija Mati. Shakti is always Buddhi or Mati. Our Buddhi is our intellect, which is guiding us throughout, is Shakti or Mati. And Shiva is one who is protecting this Buddhi with his own knowledge and wisdom. And that's why Shiva is the ninth house. Now, who is constantly fighting with Shiva and the Sati? It is sixth house which is constantly fighting with both of them. And that's why the sixth house is the house of enemies, house of uh, diseases and deaths, which destroys or disturbs one's life. So Daksha is the ego of the sixth house, and say, who is the main, you can say, power giver of sixth house? It is Mars. And who is the main significator or lord of first house? It is again Mars. It is Aries sign which is ruled by Mars. So sixth house and first house both have connection with Mars, which means to struggle and to fight. And this is what we keep doing throughout our lives. Whosoever we consider our enemy, we always fight with them, directly or indirectly. Either we can fight directly, then we'll get the sixth house coming in the directional manner, 1 2 3 4 5 6. When we are indirectly fighting them in a hidden manner, we have to reverse this. And if we go to sixth house in reverse manner, we'll come to eighth house. And that's why eighth house is hidden house. This is where all the hidden things are there in our lives. So the when we are fighting with our enemies, we increase the energy of sixth and the eighth house. And what is happening when they both increase, when we are fighting, what happened? Ultimately, Sati burned herself. I cannot win over the Daksha. I cannot win over the ego of Daksha. Whenever you try to fight with the ego, you will ultimately end up in destroying yourself. You can never eliminate anyone's ego by fighting with them. This is what is indicated by this story. When you try to fight with others, you will definitely destroy your own self, your own intellect. Everything which is linked with you will start getting destroyed. And this fight is not good for anyone, not for the body, not for the self, and not for the other. That's why Shiva stopped Sati, that you should not go and fight with Daksha. That Sati didn't listen to Shiva. So ninth house is also the house of guru, house of guide or counselor with whom we listen to. So when we listen to our guides, our counselors, or those who are the guiding force behind our life, when we are connected with their wisdom, we are always protected. We never end up in destroying ourselves. But the moment we leave the advice of our well wishers, especially those who are really knowledgeable, who are wise, who are intelligent, and especially the one who is Guru, if you don't listen to your Guru and you indulge in the unnecessary struggles and fight, at the end you start getting destroyed. When you separate from Shiva, when Sati separated from Shiva and went to Daksha, Sati got destroyed. That destruction started happening. So when you leave the dharma, or when you leave the Shiva, when you never listen to those who are protecting you, you end up in destroying yourself when you indulge in unnecessary fights. This is what is indicated by this story. Shiva tried to make Sati understand that there is no point in approval or disapproval of Daksha. Whether Daksha approves or disapproves, the truth will never die. Truth can never be rejected by anyone. If you accept the truth or reject the truth, truth will remain truth. Okay. You have two hands and two legs. Even if someone is coming and saying that no, you have four hands and four legs, you will say, oh, shut up. Okay. There are two things. Either you keep arguing with them, what will happen at the end? You'll burn your own head and go away. Okay. Or you just leave them and ignore them, that he is a foolish guy who is trying to make me understand that I have four hands and four legs. So, this is what Shiva argued, and Shiva told Sati that there is no point in fighting with Daksha. Every wise person knows the truth that Vedas came from Shiva itself. So, those who know the truth, they don't need to understand or agree with Daksha or disagree with Daksha also. But Sati just went for the approval of Daksha, that how can he disapprove Shiva's existence from Vedas? And this is what led to the clash. Ultimately, she burned herself. The head burns itself when it fights with the unnecessary enemies and arguments. Now, what does Shiva did to destroy the Daksha? Did Shiva send his own spear, own Trishul, that, oh, I'll go and cut down the head? No, this is what is indicated by this story, and it is very important. Who can end all the enemies, and how to end all your enemies, direct or indirect enemies? This is what is indicated by this story. And that's why it is more beautiful. So Shiva sent Veerbhadra, the name of the person or that energy which destroyed the Daksha's head, not the Daksha. Daksha was again revived by Shiva, and he was given the head of a goat, Ajamukha. So Daksha was not destroyed, head of Daksha was destroyed. And What is Veerbhadra? It is the energy of 12th house. And that's why 12th house is the house of meditation, house of samadhi. And the word for 12th house used by Maharishi Parashar is ahamantakam, that which destroys the ahem, that which destroys the feeling of I-ness, that I am. And that's why to destroy your enemies, the best thing to do is to enter into the path of samadhi and meditations, because this is the inner conflict which is giving rise to the outer conflict. When you have those impressions of enmity left in you, those impressions will give rise to external enemies for sure. But when you destroy those internal, you can say, impressions of enmity, you will never find anyone who is having enmity with you. So you can never destroy your enemies by fighting with them. You can only destroy the enemies with the energy of 12th house. That means by surrendering them. That's why 12th house is surrender. It is what you leave. That okay, I just leave everything. So when you leave enmity, the enemies get destroyed. That means the enmity will get destroyed when you leave that enmity. And this is what is indicated by this story. That's why Virubhadra represents the energy of samadhi. That when you enter into the dimension of knowledge and samadhi, what happens? The energy of Lagna, which is creating havoc. So Daksha is sixth, as well as Daksha Prajapati is sixth, one who holds the position that I am Daksha Prajapati. And the word Daksha is Lagna itself. And Sati was the daughter of Daksha. That means they should have a common connection. So Daksha is first house, that house which is having the ego of power and position which is holding. And when the Veerbhadra, that means the knowledge of Samadhi, enters in one's life, that head is cutted and that I-ness is dissolved into nothingness, that I am nothing. And then that nothingness transcends to I am everything. So if you are not fighting, if you are not struggling with the things around you, and always creating the positive vibration of ninth house alive by listening to your well wishers, especially your counselors, or you can say advisors with whom you listen to, you'll definitely save yourself from all kind of destruction. And all kind of enmities, whether direct indirect, can be destroyed with the knowledge of meditation and samadhi. Or you can say by leaving everything, actually leaving enmities, you actually destroy your enemies. This is the message hidden in this story. Okay. So this is how you can understand the actual story behind each and every aspect of the Puranas. So I hope you all understood this story, that why this story is having all those characters and what they all mean in our life, and how we can use this story to improve our life. So, since Shiva is the ninth house, that means the house of protection. So, whenever you take the name of Shiva by chanting the mantras of Shiva, you get the energy of ninth house activated, and that saves you from all the destruction which is happening in your life. And that's why all the biggest saints, anyone you ask that what is the best remedy for uh, all bad times, so they say chant the name of Shiva, and that's why we say Om Namah Shivaya. So when you keep chanting the name of Shiva, you'll definitely save yourself from all the destructions which are happening around you. Okay. Yes. So if any questions you have or anything you want to ask, the platform is open for everyone. Yeah. Okay. So one more announcement for everyone that uh, after uh, 2 days itself, from 25th of Jan, I'm having a course of medical astrology in Jyotish Vastu Academy. The details will be sent to you again in the platform. Please spread this message to everyone, all your friends who are interested in knowing all these dimensions and facets of the health which are linked with the elements. We are going to learn that how the elements are affecting us and how we can save our health with the knowledge of elements. There are certain things which should be done in a certain times, and there are certain things which we should not do in a certain time. And how the knowledge of changing elements help us to improve our health. This is what we'll discuss. So definitely you can share it with everyone who is having the interest in astrology or Jyotish, and those who can like who wants to know the dimensions of health, that how the health is having the impact with the changing elements. Okay. Yeah. So any questions you have, you can definitely unmute yourself and ask. Sure. Yeah.
Nishchay, by chance, one day I'm not available. So would I be getting the recording if I
Yes. For 3 months, you'll be getting the
enroll
recording.
myself?
Yes, yes. For 3 months, definitely you'll
Oh,
get the
great.
recording of this
Great.
session. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Any question from anyone?
So this is,
Okay.
you said it's a mini course, it's a small
Yeah.
course. So
Mhm.
is it a part one? I mean, how many parts are
Yes.
there then?
Yeah, so it will be covered in almost 6 to 7 parts, and this is the first part. That means we start with the elements, then in the next part, we'll come to the energies, the 9 planets, and then we'll keep on coming to this dimension one by one. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Jai Gurudev Nishchay ji.
Jai
So
Guru.
two question about this medical astrology.
Yeah,
So this course is also available outside India.
yes, yes.
Can
It
people
is
from
for
outside India
everyone.
register?
Definitely. From
Okay,
if you are living in abroad, also outside from India, you can register. Hmm. Okay. And
okay.
for
I'll
3 months,
see
you
the
will be
timings
get
because there is a.
yeah. For 3 months, you'll be having the recordings. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I will post this in the other groups. There is a Healing Breaths group in US. Another question you mentioned, right, about just leaving the enmity behind. So
Hmm.
how do we do that? One way I noticed is when we send blessings to the person we feel enmity about,
Hmm.
somehow it starts blossoming in a different direction instead of enmity. So is there any other
Yes.
tips you can give us so we can leave the enmity
So
and have cordial relations?
yes, yes. The enmity is in Jyotish is linked with sixth house, and that which destroys the sixth, or you can say ends the enmity, is fifth house. That means love and devotion. So when your emotions and love is directed to divine, automatically all your enmities will. Don't try to be like hard on, forgiving a person by being hard on yourself. That oh, I have to forgive the person. The till the time you are having that negative burning emotions inside, practically it doesn't happen. On outer side you can say that okay, I have uh, forgiven this person, but towards like when you go deep inside, you'll find that no, somewhere still that dislike, hatred and emotions are there. Now what to do? So the best thing to do for this is we can follow the story. So activate 12th house and the 5th house. The 12th house means the Veera Bhadra, go to Samadhi. So it is Veera and Bhadra. Bhadra means that which is benevolent, which is, really calm and auspicious. But is Veera. Veera means that which is very brave and bold. So that calmness which is coming with the bravery is the best thing which will destroy the enmity. So in the samadhi, when we are calm, but we are also brave to enter into that unknown dimension, we'll keep the thoughts coming and be the witness, but will not involve with any of that thoughts. During that process, the impressions will be released. And the second thing is to activate fifth house. That means don't try to forgive your enemies. Just direct your devotion too much that devotion itself will clean your heart. And now that enmity, if it comes, it will pinch you that why to keep this small feeling. Okay. So when you do not feel loved or when you do not love the divine, this is when we keep holding the enmities. So when we love the divine more, and there is no place for enemies to come in your heart except divine, there is no other place for anyone. This is the best feeling in which the enmity ends by itself. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you, Nishchay.
yeah. Okay. So thank you for joining. We'll definitely uh, post for the next sessions. Thank you, and you can definitely share the video and the message of medical astrology to all your groups and invite as many people, those who especially needs to attend and understand how they are destroying their lifestyle because life with their lifestyles. Okay, thank you. Jai Guru.